listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while sighing and swooning over offers of shared audiobooks.
Stack ourselves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey, HBs. Hey, quick question, just a random one. Have you had a chance to rate and review Heaving Bosoms on your favorite podcatcher? If you haven't, it would make my heart soar to see y'all boost us in the algorithm by writing us a little review, especially in Apple Podcasts. I love seeing them come through. This week on Patreon and our Apple Podcast subscription, Sabrina and I are squeeing about a few of the Puckboy books by Eden Finley and Saxon James. Anytime I get to be back in that universe, I am a happy but feral camper, you know? So it's a super fun episode. When we ended yesterday, our couple had just had their first kiss, and that somehow launched into our Princess Bride alternate timeline theory. I know, it sounds like it wouldn't work, but I contend that it was seamless and necessary, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree. Here's part 2 of Girls with Bad Reputations by Xio Axelrod.
So this is when we find out why am I, those gigantic pieces of shit, when they heard that Broken Pilots wanted the Lilies to open with them, tried to put Candy's band in instead. And Broken Pilots was like, no, go fuck yourself.
They're like, either we're opening with the Lilies or we're not opening with anyone from your label.
Yeah, which is like such a fucking relief that...
Well, and it's also like, if you were like a new artist, you were hot, you had this big tour, why would you want your opening act to be like this trash bag train wreck?
God, and they don't even know the worst of it.
No,
you know?
They don't. They just are like, this woman is crazy and we don't like her. Like, that's all they know.
Well, it's also like, we don't know her.
No.
Like, they can get vouched for. Like,
and it's also just like they're pissed off because they're like, no, this was our decision. You can't make this decision for our band and our tour.
Yeah, and like, oh man, I'm really excited. I think this will come back in the later books in the series whenever or I hope it does, but there is a lot of discussion about how Broken Pilots didn't like their label and left their label to start their own.
Yes, they started their own independent imprint. So it's something.
And I'm like,
I also wonder now too, I'm like, maybe the good twin will be a love interest because they keep mentioning him, but he's not doing much. I don't know. But maybe he'll pop up and do something. I don't know if he will. It's just like, I'm like, oh, maybe he'll pop up. That just made me think of that. I mean,
this book is a good example of like, I would be happy with a side spin-off series or like a spin-off book about pretty much any side character.
It's just like I want to know more about Siobhan and like the Broken like it's
I want a fucking Siobhan and Jamie book so
I need
bad.
a prequel of how they get together because they like are great together. They seem like really into each other. He calls her his lucky charm when she's like.
Well, it's also specifically like they're not. They're kind of like
they're not like hooking
dating. Yeah, exactly.
They're kind of like together right now, but they're very on and off.
Yeah,
they seem really into each other. So.
Well, yeah, he talks about how she's like his muse and like it's on page when he looks at her that he is just so swoony over her.
It's a good time. And Siobhan continues to be a really good friend.
Yeah. So then we get some intense logistical like lawyer stuff where Jordan comes and talks to Kayla and he knows about her family and all of that. And he's like, hey, so here's some like false accusations and stuff. And like, I want to make sure that you know this about Ty. And she's like, of course I do.
Fully team Ty too. Cause he's like, I know what happens. And he's like, I also looked up on it and they really fucked him over.
Yeah. And
we find out he's actually approached Ty. Or at least
Yeah. later, because he talks to lawyer buddy on Ty's behalf,
Yes.
which is what sets a whole thing in motion later in the book.
He makes a mention here about how like it was a travesty of a case.
Yeah, and also like I like obviously we know that it is false. It is false accusations. The whole thing was a shit show, but also you just need to know about it because being with you might throw him in a spotlight
And it's
that
like
he is not prepared for.
Yeah, and maybe he might not want that coming up again.
Yeah.
He's looking out for both of them. And also, Jordan's kind of the bone carrier. He knows the secrets about everyone. Like, you mention it, he knows her name, he knows that. We find out later, like, he knows probably the most about Tiff.
Yeah.
He's like, Jordan's
which, like,
kind of
makes sense. He's the lawyer.
He's the lawyer, but he's like, he can't be underestimated because he knows everything about everyone.
He's got the secrets.
Yeah.
He got everybody's secrets.
He's there.
And so they basically have this intense conversation with the band about, like, he doesn't spill the secrets, but he does remind everybody, like, hey, just a heads up, you are in the spotlight. Like, they will find anything that they can. If they can find your real names, if they can find your hit, and there's nothing we can do about it.
And he's like, it's better to get ahead of it yourself than have someone else
spill the beans.
telling it and making their own story.
Listen, that pigeon comes to roost later in the book. But it's just a lot. Everyone's got secrets, and I'm nervous about Tiff's book, and like I'm real nervous about Lily. I feel like shit's gonna come to light that's like, oh my god,
I'm worried about like it's not really a spoiler, but we learn like Tiff like was in foster care, and her sister's not her biological sister, but took care of her, and it's implied her sister is in and out of trouble, even though she's the older one.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and like Tiff has had to clean up a lot of messes.
And Tiff mentioned like we don't see it, but she's like, when after we're done this leg of the tour, she's like, I'm gonna go check in on my sister.
Yeah. So there's all of this like drama. There's a lot of scenes like this throughout the book, you know, where they're figuring out how to handle this unexpected press, which they are like, man, we talk about how like not all bad press is like any press is good press, and like we don't agree with that, but at the same time, like people do know who they are.
That's true. They are getting buzz. Like they talk about like how more people are starting to like look at their videos and things.
Yeah. So we have this scene where we find out that everyone's moving to Philly.
Yeah, everyone's moving to Philly,
which is super exciting and just very promising.
Even Lily's moving to Philly.
Yeah. Well, and this is definitely one of those moments that makes me realize as somebody from California and somebody who has lived in the Deep South for a long time, I fundamentally do not understand how tiny the states are in the Northeast, because they're talking about Philly and like they're commuting from New York. And
I think that's why I was so confused, because at one point in the first book, they mentioned Chicago and then they're coming from New York. And as someone from Canada, there's only like a certain amount of provinces, and we're the second biggest landmass. It takes you like 2 days to get to another province.
Yeah.
Like, Saskatchewan you can get to pretty easily, but not through the end of it. So like when people are like, oh yeah, like some people will like be like in the States, like, oh, I crossed the state lines to get to work. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of thing. And like, I figured that you would definitely relate to that as well. Cause like same, like where I lived in Southern California, it would take me 14 hours to get to another state, depending on the direction that I went.
Exactly.
Like,
and even like with my cousin, when I was at her wedding, and every time I've gone to visit her, her parents live in Jersey. And if I go visit them, they'll sometimes like drop me off at her place. And it like takes 20 minutes. And she lives in like Midtown.
Is Midtown
in New York.
Okay.
And she's in Jersey.
Yeah.
And I know they're very close, but it's still baffling to me because you can't do that. Like there's no state that you can just kind of like
hop over, like, especially because there's so many, like in this book alone, they're talking about like Jersey here and Massachusetts there and New York here. And I'm like, oh my God, you could really just throw a stone and hit like 6 different states.
A professor, and she was living in New York, but now she's from here, but she lives in Virginia now. And she'll mention like, oh, I took the train into Washington, or I just took the train into New York to visit my friends. And I'm like, what is this magical train? And why is it like traveling at light speed?
Yeah, like we don't have super trains like that, do we? Like, what do you have to travel at to get there so fast? Mach 2? Like,
no, I'm like, oh wow, that would like, it can take you 16 hours to drive from one end of the province to the other. So it's like, oh, okay.
As somebody who has driven from Louisiana to Southern California multiple times in my life, the amount of time that it takes to get across Texas is obscene. And it just fundamentally, I just do not understand being able to be like, oh yeah, I hopped into these 6 different states before
And like
lunch.
you said, these northern ones, it's like completely culturally different.
Yes, 10,000%. Like, oh, public transportation.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like,
oh, you can just take it?
You can just take a train if you don't have a car where I live.
Another state? Oh my God.
Yeah, fascinating. So we find out everyone's moving to Philly, and then we see Ty in a scene where his grandpa has moved to the senior community, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and it's just too fucking quiet. He has like a triggery moment waking up out of a nightmare from prison, and like the shadows on the ceiling. It's really rough.
It's implicated he had a rough time the 3 weeks he was in prison.
Which, like, fair.
Like, who would have a great time? But you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, man, I really hope that it's not weird for me to text this late. But he immediately texts Kayla and is like, hey, if y'all still don't have a driver, count me in.
And she's like, I'm a rock star. Of course I'm up.
Okay. I also had that thought too, where I was like,
yeah. And she basically says it. She's like, yeah, of course I'm up. I'm a drummer.
Yeah. Like, of course. Like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm like up at the wee hour. Man, I have some friends like that where like, I fundamentally do not understand the life that you live.
I have such intense sleep hygiene and a routine, and I've had to as I've gotten older. There's going to be a period in my life where, like, I still remember watching Orange is the New Black, of all things, the first season, and, like, going to bed at 2 a.m. and then waking up at, like, 6 to go to work for a driving thing. And I'm like, but I was in my 20s. I'm like, if I tried that now, I would literally collapse.
There was a point in my life where I worked at a coffee shop, and I would have, because of where I worked, it would have been like, I would have been probably 19 or 20, and or that's not true. I was definitely legal drinking age. But like I remember me and my friends, we would be out until 2 or 3, and like the bars closed, and then up for work the next morning at like 5.
That's insane. I can't. But it's true. We all did that, and I'm like, but there's some people who even now can still do it. Like I'm not that person. I need my 8 hours. Like I'm like, oh, tomorrow I work from home so I can get up at 7. So that means I will be in bed by 10:30. So I'll be asleep by 11. Like, it's very much
regimented. Yes.
I leave my phone outside. I read my book, and then sometimes it helps me go to sleep, but no technology. I have a whole thing because I'm an old lady now.
Relatable. So he's on the tour. They're on the second leg of their tour, and she really wants to spend time with Ty because she feels like they've been on hold since their kiss in the hammock. Like they haven't really seen each other.
Explore.
Yeah. And it was so cute because she has been holding off on doing it, but finally they're on the road, and she goes up to him in his cockpit and is like, hello. And he's like, hey, I was wondering when you'd come for a visit. And she says, I didn't want to seem too eager. And he says, to them or to me? Because if it's for me, I'd rather you were eager as fuck. And she says, oh, really? Eager as fuck? And he's like, as fuck. And it's like, oh my God. You're just so cute.
I'm just like cheesing right now. Me and Sabrina right now are just like, we're smiling so hard.
Yeah, because they're just so cute.
They're so cute, and they're so into each other.
Oh my God. And it's just like really refreshing reading a book where the characters, like, I honestly believe that they're into each other.
They're so into each other, and there's actual conflict. But the conflict isn't that he's like a dick. They find a way to making him a genuinely good person, but still making him an interesting character.
So, like, this is one of the things, I know I've talked about this with Melody on pod before, and I know that we've definitely had conversations like this when we have, like, friend chats and things like that, where one of the reasons I love historicals and I love, like, sci-fi and fantasy and paranormal, like, less paranormal, but, like, sci-fi, historical and stuff, is so much of the conflict is external, and it's hard and it's easy, right? Like, it's so easy in those genres for conflict to be external because sometimes, like, in contemporaries and things like that, they lean on internal conflict or, like, interpersonal conflict between the two characters in order to get to this, like, them get closer kind of thing. The main conflict is them, not
And it's
outside of them.
Even as someone who reads a lot of contemporaries, it's very much like sometimes it's like if you just had a normal conversation, this is not a real problem.
Yeah, this isn't a real. This is not a fucking problem.
And no
I'm not
adult would actually like. And
yeah, or like how many times have we talked about a book and we're like, yeah, our biggest issue with this book is we don't actually believe these people like each other.
Or like they make. Not every contemporary. I'm not one of those person that believes every contemporary is like this, but a lot of contemporaries want to give you a love interest who's so unobjectionable, he stops being a person and we stop being able to have any personality.
Oh,
Guy is a kind person, but he's also like a complicated person who is an interesting character that we can invest in. He's not just like a perfect man who's just there, which is especially a problem I sometimes find when like it's completely in the heroine's head.
Yes, I think that this is definitely a better book for being dual point of view.
And I do think there's something to be said about books that go into both point of view in contemporary for that reason.
Yes. And it's like, it's definitely not all, because like Lord knows that in sci-fi and historical, that there's definitely plenty of times where I'm like, these are literally just the two stupidest people alive, and they shouldn't.
But I know what you mean. There's like a space war, or there's something to do with an inheritance, or there's the actual conflict of like, if I marry you, my family may cut me up. Like there's real conflict.
Yes.
Like
that isn't necessarily, they might be dumb little flawed people, but also like it fits
it's not
the
like
greater narrative.
Like, because I've read other ones where it's literally been like, oh, I am mad at this guy because he opened up a business in the same parkade as me. And we got into one trouble and I'm still holding it against him 6 months later. I'm like, I don't know why.
Yeah. And it's not that, like you said earlier, it's definitely like that's a broad brush to paint with about
contemporaries, but it is a problem I see in some of the less great contemporaries.
Yeah, it's just, and I get it. It's easy.
It's easy. And you know what? The world sucks, honestly. So if you're writing a heterosexual male-female romance in a world where men, like, there's a reason we all picked the bear. I can see why you're like, I want this man to be completely objectionable. And it is hard sometimes to walk the line of like, is this person redeemable? Are they complicated or they're an asshole? But I think it's worth it when you can walk it well, because it creates more layers. Well,
this is just such a great example, though, of like you can have external, because like we said earlier, they are just so, they don't ever have a problem, right? The conflict in this book
is not the problem. It's their other issues that is the problem. Like they're liking each other and being together is weirdly never an issue.
And like, listen, like we were saying earlier, there's plenty of great contemporary out there, but like, man, if I have to read one more fucking book with a bad miscommunication trope where I'm like, this would all be solved with like a 30-second conversation.
It's like, oh, you did this? I'm never going to text you again for follow-up. We need to never speak again. I'm like, what? Text him. Text her.
Yeah, maybe I just fundamentally don't understand, because I wouldn't be able to handle that. Like, why are you just like,
you know me,
I'm bringing up the conversation. We're going to talk about it.
If anything, I go into stuff and over explain things. So I would never be, if I texted you and you'd respond, you'd get 6 texts afterwards being like, are you mad at me? What's wrong? I meant this. I didn't mean that. So
well, it's also like this idea of like, man, especially like recently I've been getting a lot of practice with it, where it's like, I'm bringing up the hard things. We're going to fucking talk about it, because if it ends with our relationship ending, whatever the relationship is, then that sucks. But like, maybe we shouldn't have any interaction together.
Honestly, like as a single woman who froze her eggs and is on the dating scene, I have had to have those so many with men, especially like as I've gotten older, 'cause I just turned 39. And like, you know what? Guys will come up to me and be like, I'm not sure if I want to have kids. And I'm like, I can't really deal with that right now.
Yeah.
You either need to be, man, like, it's hard. Listener, I mean, like you, or even like little stuff. Like, it's like, and I know you probably have the opposite issue, but it's the same thing. It's like,
yeah, well, like the number, I mean, I told you about Baby Maker Bob. You know, like the number of listener, I need you to understand that.
Where is he going to make a baby with you though? Like, it's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, don't worry. You're still beautiful, even though you can't bear children, sir. I need you to sit the fuck down.
Like, what does that have to do with your beauty?
Yeah. Also, like, wow, way to just like boil me down to the baby making part of it. Like,
even though you yeeted your uterus, you're still a pretty person. You're pretty.
I feel like people find it more offensive that the uterus is still in there. It's just not usable, you know?
Well, you know, whatever. It's
whatever.
Still there.
But like, listener, I need you to understand that in the like friend group that Kiran and I spend our time in, right? Like, are we the only single people? I think we're the only single people.
Yeah, we are. We're the only single people.
Yeah, and so like when Kiran pops in, like, listen to this fucked up dating story, I'm like, relatable. Here's my version. Like,
sometimes I'll just send screenshots of random crazy men who have like Instagram me, and you're like, is that a serial killer? I'm like, maybe.
I'm like, makes me glad I'm not on social media. Listen to this date that I went on. Like,
truly wild. If only we could find a tie, though.
Dude, if I ever find a tie that would vibe with you, I will send him your way.
If I find a tie that would vibe with you, I would be like, this is Sabrina. Meet her.
Yeah, check it out. But you gonna like this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. International matchmaking and wingmanning.
We can make it happen.
We got this.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
So yeah, so there's this kiss thing. I don't want to seem too eager. And then this is when they have the audiobook thing.
It's so cute. Oh my God.
And then they get talking about their favorite like variations of Sherlock. And it's
kind of comes out to her.
Yes, because they're talking like, is this your type? And like all of these things. And then we have the swooniest little conversation because he's just so fucking cute. Because she's like, oh, well, is Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock your type? And he goes, I have to say, lately I've been a little preoccupied with redheads. And she's like, oh? And he's like, specifically redheaded drummers. And she's like, drummers, huh? And he's like, to be honest, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this one that I kissed a while back. And she's like, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it either. And he's like, do you think we might do it again sometime? And she's like, yes, definitely. And he's like, that's good. That's really good. You know? Thanks. Awesome. Cool.
It's just so like cute and dorky. Like he went to a certain point of smoothness and then it just ends and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, which is like so fucking relatable. Like he like lays down. It's
so smooth, and then as soon as she responded, he's like, yeah, I know it's good.
Yeah, like he is like full on Vaseline slip and slide or like baby oil slip and slide just straight into gravel where he's just
so
like,
good. It's like, it's so good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So then, oh my God, we have this flashback and it's not even necessarily like critical to story to share about it, but there's this like really poignant flashback that she has about a conversation with her mom about like which battles are worth it. And it comes up, this theme, a lot throughout the book where like for Ty, is it worth it to go after the school and like get justice for this? She's wondering if this battle is worth it to like be close with these people, or am I gonna give this up so that I can go back to like so that they'll be able to go be a band? Because there's multiple times in the book where she debates leaving the band
just so they don't have to deal with her, because then she's like, oh, then I don't embarrass anyone. It's like she's gonna give up her dream to like appease people who don't really want to be appeased, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's also like this really gives a good insight into her mom, just because her mom is talking about like whether you like it or not, you have a spotlight on you that has nothing to do with either of us. You are a young Black woman in a predominantly white school. And Kayla says, okay, and nobody fucking cares. She doesn't say fuck, but she's like, nobody, like no one cares.
And her mom's like, yeah,
her mother says, never for one instant allow yourself to believe that no matter where you go, no matter who you're with,
and
someone
like, no
will
matter
always
how much
care.
money we have and what we can give you, do not forget that.
Yes, like ultimately you're a Black woman.
Yeah, which is so true. And like, I'm so glad that the mom was like, no, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
And it also like does add a layer to the mom because she did come up in a different era.
Yes.
And I do think there's a lot of respectability politics involved and like Black excellence, but I also think this woman is also acting out of her own trauma, and it's not okay, but it is coming from a place of wanting to protect her child.
Yeah, like this very, very much could have led into a flavor of generational trauma where like if Kayla had stuck to like everything her mom believes, like the reason her mother gave her for not playing the drums, like, oh, you shouldn't play the drums, is because any instrument that requires you to spread your legs isn't suitable.
Even though she was fine with her playing the cello, which Kayla brings
yeah,
up.
or like the harp.
Yeah.
Or like all of these different instruments. Like, what are you talking? It's just because this is a loud, angry, societally masculine instrument.
Yeah, it's like an instrument like that's not considered like classy.
Yeah. So we then have this moment. This is the one that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, where they're at a music store on this second leg of this tour. And this dude, Bruce, ends up being it's just such a good example of
such a journey.
Assumptions.
I had so many feelings about Bruce.
Yeah. Because
what a
he
character arc
immediately
in 3 paragraphs.
right? I had the exact same thought. Where, like, they walk into this music store, go look at this drum set, and this dude, Bruce, walks up, immediately assumes that Ty is the drummer. And then when he finds out Ty doesn't play the drums, he assumes that it's they're married and they have a son.
It has to be their son. You have a little boy.
Uh-huh. And boy, what an example of her putting somebody in his place, because she's like, oh, wow, how do I hold drumsticks? Can I sit behind it? And, ooh, interesting. And then, like, she gets up there and she's like, like just like incredible drumming.
Oh, she's like, doing fun stuff.
Yeah, and then I loved this so much because this is such an example of Bruce is not a bad guy, right? Like, he is just...
He has his own societal biases, but he, to his credit, feels incredibly ashamed.
Yeah, after he's like, man, clearly I need to apologize. It never occurred to me that you were the one. And she's like, yeah, it is. And he's like, man, no, I'm so sorry. Like, at the risk of sounding, we just don't get too many drummers in here who look, well, like you. No offense. And beautiful Kayla goes, none taken. Hopefully you see more of us. And he's like, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he's like, wouldn't that be a great thing? So it's kind of like a nice turn where it's like, he has like these layers to him, so it doesn't end the way you think it would.
Well, and it was like really poignant, especially in this book, where so much of the conflict in this book and all of the bad things in this book are stereotypical. There's societal biases and expectations and thing. And so it was really lovely getting this reminder that, like, man, it's really easy to villainize somebody who makes those assumptions. And it really is like, they just haven't thought about it. And I'm not saying that this ignorance is acceptable, but also, like, you can't just immediately assume that this person is a fucking bad person.
And it's also just showing, like, I also think it shows, like, you don't have to be a bad person to possibly have these thoughts. So maybe we should examine our own thoughts. Because, like, I'm sure there's lots of people walking around just like, but I'm not racist. It's like, no one's saying you are, but you probably have societal biases that you need to look into. And I'm sure Bruce is one of those people who no one would ever say, like, right? He's probably a really nice guy and is like,
he's like, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, but then you assume the black woman doesn't play the drums.
Yeah, it's like
that says
we all
something.
got our biases that we sometimes have to check.
Yeah. And, like, just because you're not, like, vocally and openly, actively, you're not a fucking Nazi. You know,
people
or
think
like
unless
a
you have a Klan hoodie, you're not racist. And it's like, okay, well, calm down.
Yeah, it's very interesting being forced to, like, confront your thing, like, confront those aspects of yourself, and just the stereotypes.
And
that
you know what? Like, I say this
assume.
as a woman of color. Like, even we have our biases. Like, I'm not black, I'm not queer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like handicapped. Like, there's things I've had to check on myself too, because there's other marginalized groups that, like, we have our biases against too. So, like, it's all like a spectrum, and it's all like intersectionalism, and you can be marginalized in one way, but then also be oppressive in the other. So,
yeah, 10,000 per. Well, I mean, a great example is the biases that we get into later with her mom. Her mom has all of this stuff about, like, you're a black woman, but then she's classist as fuck? Like,
we'll get into it, but her initial assumption about Ty is like, ooh.
Oh my God, yeah, you have racist assumptions about him. What is wrong with you? Like, ma'am. And it's class-based, but they're still there. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
But,
no.
so we end up seeing them, like, getting closer and closer, and this is when we find out, like, Ty's demisexual, because he's thinking to himself, like, man, I know that the next time Kayla and I kiss, I'm done for. Like, and the fact that I feel this horny for her, that's how I know I'm done for.
Yeah, he's so into her.
Yeah, and they end up at this new festival. This is where we get a little bit more about Ty being worried about his grandpa and the frequency of his senior moments, and kind of wondering if that's why he wanted to move to a senior community, like kind of figuring his own stuff out. And it's definitely foreshadowed for like towards the end of like what happens at the end of the book, where like something does happen with his grandpa. Like he's concerned for a good reason.
Yeah, there is something going on, even if it's not what he thinks it is.
Yeah. And, they end up kissing at this festival for the second time.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, I'm done for.
And isn't this the
I'm in
one
love
where
with
he
this
kind
woman.
of like has like a thing about like, that's my girl.
Yeah. Well, like he keeps having those moments of like, she's mine. Like,
yeah. He's like, look at how talented she is. Look at how amazing he is. He just likes her so much and is so impressed with her. It's great.
Man, I will say, so we mentioned the red herring thing earlier. So when they kiss this time, it's near the bus, and he just looks at her. They're having this really intense eye contact moment. He's like, I really want to kiss you. And she's like, what's stopping you? And nothing. The answer's nothing, because he does then immediately go in for a kiss. And then everyone else shows up. There's some jokes about like the no fraternization policy, like no fraternization clause and all of that just being for show at this point. And I had I was so worried.
Like Andre was going to show up, or someone was going to, I got that. I was like, they keep bringing it up.
Yeah, I was so nervous that was going to end up being a thing. And I was not looking forward to, especially because we already have Ty's history of, wrongful accusations. And I was just like, oh God, I could see some dumb shit coming up from this.
What if he brings that up, or it's in the press? I fully was expecting way more like trauma with that, thankfully, than we get.
Yes. So this is when she finally confesses to everybody about her past. She confesses about her parents. She confesses about little Miss Yolanda to everybody.
And Tony actually read the book as a kid. She's like, oh, you do look like her.
Uh-huh. And Tiff is like, oh God, yeah, I had to read those as a kid too. I fucking hated those books.
So funny.
And then we get the scene where he's driving and he gets taken over by the relief driver, and he goes to take a little nap in the bunk section.
Oh, yeah.
And a nap is not what happens, because
you get a little, hand job action.
A little frisky, yeah, because she's like, hey, what's up with you? And he's like, oh, coming back to take a nap. And she's like, do you want to join me in here? We can talk. And all I could think was,
we can read.
Buddy, like, oh my God. So he crawls into the bunk with her. They close the curtain, and it's not long before they're getting like handsy, right? And he's
kind
like
of showing like how small the space is and all the bendiness they have to do. And the whole time I'm like, I was enjoying it, but I was also like, wait, is like, who's above them? Can they hear?
Okay, logistically, I was also like, man, they're like, I hope Tiff is a heavy sleeper. Like,
or Tiff's a perv, she's listening in like, hee, like that's.
If anybody is listening in and jacking off, it's Lily, and you can fucking quote me on that.
You know what? True. She's got some weird internal freak to her, that girl.
Oh, yeah, I would hazard to say it's not internal.
It's not a part of the story, but they casually have her like just like taking off her
naked
leotard in front of everyone, and everyone's like, whoa, okay.
And she's just like, what? Like,
it's
clearly not a big deal for her, which, like, relatable. The number of times that I'll start stripping and I'm like, oh, I hope nobody's uncomfortable with this.
When I was in university, I had a friend who was like, we were getting ready to do something, and she just like started getting ready, which is fine. I did not realize she would also involve taking her panties off and changing that. And I'm like, oh, we're just vagina first in here. And she was like, she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like, but when I go to the gym, yes, I see my friend's boobs, but nobody's ever taking their panties off. So I was like, oh God. So I was like, but yeah, it's interesting. But Lily is that person. Lily is you. Lily's like, I'm from Europe. We don't care.
Yeah, the number of times I've been like and I'm like, my boobs or my vag are out. And I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Let me like.
One day when someone's going to go like, I'm not okay.
And I'll be like, I am so sorry.
I'm an
This
adult.
will never happen again.
So funny.
It's definitely happened before. Yeah. But yeah, we have a little bit of hand job action. We have a little bit of fingering action.
They're having a good time, both of them.
And so we mentioned the sound or like the noise logistics, but also like, goddamn, talk about something that you can do when you're 25 that you can't now.
No, they got to be flexible because they're in a tiny, like, it must be a twin. It must be a twin bunk, bottom bunk. And
maybe
they do mention that, like, she covers her mouth and he covers his. So, like, there is, like.
Yeah, but like, man, have you ever been on a bus like this? Because like, shuffling around on the bus.
I've been on a Greyhound and I've been like on a bus where you're traveling and I'm like, I just couldn't do it. You're too close to other people.
Yeah, like unless I had like explicit consent from every single person
and, like,
around.
what? No one's going to do that. Someone's going to be like, I'd really rather not listen to you.
Yeah, it's fine. But like, I was like, man, I think that I'd get a crick in my neck.
Oh no, I would be like, I can't even like gift wrap for too long on the floor without like having to need a massage. So this would ruin me.
Oh my God. I have been doing all this beating lately, like I told you. And like, I have been noticing that I end up in just the most hunchy gremlin positions. And I try and remind myself, like, to catch it and be like, okay, you need to make sure that you're sitting up. I mean, hell, it even happens like here in recording as I end up getting comfy.
One of my friends got like one of those hairdresser mats for when she's cooking. And she said it actually really helps.
Oh.
So I've been thinking about getting one because they have one that like is supposed to help you because they stand all day while they're cutting hair.
Yeah.
It's like a hairstylist mat. So I'm looking into that. I'll send you a link if I find something.
Yeah, I've been mostly looking for, because like I sit down when I'm doing it, and it's mostly the gremlin crouching, like those like posture bands.
No, I get it, because I drive so much for my job, and then alternately I'm at a report, or I'm like going into weird buildings and crawling into crawl spaces. I'm always in like a weird position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just like fucking in a tour bus bunk.
No, we would have cricks in our neck. We would have sore backs. We would be like, oh, my knee.
And it's not even like a crick in the neck that would go away, right? Like this is one that's going to show up and it's going to become, this is going to be a problem.
It's going to be like, you know, now when you sleep and you sleep on one side, your arm is kind of sore the next day. You're going to have a weird sore side.
Yeah, or like you're like, oh, I can't look all the way to the right because I slept funny.
You're like grabbing an Advil right after.
You wake up, you just
like just preemptively give me 2 Advils because
you're fucked when you keep ibuprofen on your bedside table.
Exactly.
That's how you know you're getting.
But they're young. They're 25.
Man, good for them. I remember those days fondly. So they do decide that they don't want to have like full penetrative sex in this bunk, which is why all of the hand stuff happens.
Yeah, they're like they don't want their first time to be on a tour bus bunk.
Yeah, and then I'm very confused. Like, it seemed like they were going... So we only get one on-page scene with, like, penetrative sex.
But it's, like, later, and it seems like their first time. But I know what you're getting at, because the next scene, and we don't really see it, is they check into a spa for a few days in a really nice hotel. But we don't actually see any bits of the spa. They're all very excited, and the implication is, because he's like, oh, yeah, I'm staying in a different motel. And she goes, no, you're staying with me. But I guess they just, like... cuddle, make out, and like kind of like fool around, but they don't actually have penetrative sex.
Yeah, which like this is fine.
I don't like kink shame or shame like what you're doing or what your space is, but it is for a romance novel. This like that's why I was kind of saying it's like not
especially on page. On page, they're like, well, like maybe we can make some hotel action happen then.
Yeah, and then it's like no
hotel action.
No. You don't even get like, more you don't get more fingering. You don't get like going down action.
Well, and it's like specifically they're like, maybe we'll get some hotel action going on. And there's they never, as far as we're aware, ever do anything in a hotel.
And it's like, now that we're back on tour, and I was like, excuse me, did I miss 3 pages?
Yeah, like even if it was fade to black, I'm just shocked y'all didn't do things.
The implication, she just makes a mention later, like, oh yeah, we fooled around. And,
and then it's so funny because as far as we're aware, the first time that they do end up having like penetrative sex or any sex at all
in his childhood bedroom. So I'm like, all right, you have this beautiful hotel room at a spa with all this privacy, and you're like, nah, we're gonna do it in my top.
No, we're gonna fuck on this twin bed.
We want Green Day to be watching the first time we have sex.
Billy Joel Armstrong is fucking watching us.
He's the third. He was both of their sexual awakenings, so he's the third.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
We'll go back. So they finished that and they're back on tour, and then
yeah, so then we have like some more like montagey thing. Like they have a bunch of really good shows, they have a bunch of really bad shows,
like
all of these things.
Montage at a music festival.
Yeah, and they get to their last show at Indio Fest in California.
Fucking
and
candy.
Oh my god, they were set to go on the final day, Sunday, the big day, and they were on the lineup, and then YMI pulls some strings, and Andre gets Candy's band, Sugar Tits or whatever, in their spot, and now they are on Friday, and they are literally in like their lineup spot.
It's the crappiest spot you can be in, pretty much.
Yeah, because like people are still arriving for the
it's
festival.
So early. No one's really coming that early. It's the first day, so it's kind of very much like, if people see you, great.
So they end up doing their Friday afternoon show in their shitty spot.
But they kill it.
Absolutely. And he is so proud of her and excited. Like, y'all...
He's like bragging to a security guard about how they're the best band, and he's like, oh, we'll see. And he's like, oh, actually, they were really good. And he's like, I told you.
Yeah, well, and also of note, we didn't touch on this, but their single got released.
Yes.
A couple of days ago. And it's killing charts.
It's going really well.
Yeah. And we get some more sweet stuff with them. And then he gets a call that his grandfather... No, this is the lawyer thing.
Yes.
Because the granddad thing happens when he's already home.
Yes.
Because Jordan's like, I'm so sorry. I know that you said you didn't want to take the school to court, but also, like, I had already set this in motion before finding that out. My lawyer friend looked into it, and they fucked you. Your arrest is still on record, and that is why you can't get into any schools.
They lied to you. They never actually cleared anything.
I was so fucking angry. And he's like, if you can get back, then my buddy will talk with you and you can figure out next steps, kind of thing.
And he'll help you. And the implication is, like, he'll take care of all the payment and stuff.
Yes. And so he red eyes back home.
And I also like that they do mention Jordan is also a black man. So you can tell, like, that's why he's taking such a personal interest in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows it could have been him.
Yeah, 10,000%. So then we end up with, like, just the most fucking awkward interaction with Candy. Like, is it
awkward? It's fucking psychotic is what it is.
Oh my god, yeah, because they see her when they... No. When they get off stage happens...
Oh, right,
they get
this
pulled
is earlier,
out. Yeah. But they just have this, like, awkward thing, and Candy's like, haha, look at me, I get the spotlight position. And they're like, okay, dude, we're just literally trying to talk to you so that it shows we don't have beef. Like,
they're trying to be so kind, and she's just, like... just cutting, like, mean, saying little comments about, like...
And then we zippy zap, we see Ty talking to his granddad because he went with he talked to Rami, the lawyer, and he's like, I need to talk to my grandpa first, because if we do anything, it's going to put my whole life back under a microscope, and I at least need to talk to my grandpa about it.
And Pop-Up is like, fuck yeah. I've been telling you this entire book.
Yes, 10,000%. You talk about a ride or die, man. He's like, you do whatever you need. He is basically like, burn it all down. I don't give a shit.
Pop-Up's like, I'm good. I got my new home. Do what you need
He's
to
like,
do.
I got security.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. And then we see them back at the show, back at the festival, and somebody is last minute pulled out of the lineup for Sunday night, like closing night, which is
amazing.
And they get called up. They're like, hey, if you can be ready in 90 minutes, the slot's yours.
And they're like, yeah, we can do it. We'll figure out 6 songs.
Yes. So they get up there, they do the show. She doesn't have her phone on her, very importantly. All of this happens kind of all at once. And Ty gets a text message from Jordan, good looking out. He's like, hey, you're going to want to open this. Do you have internet? And sends a live stream of the show. And Ty puts it up on the TV and he's like, Pop, come look at this. Look at my girl.
And Pop-Up, like, the drummer, she's pretty.
He's
like, that one? He's like, no, the drummer. And it's funny because Ty's like, why don't they focus on the drummers more? Get away from Lily, put on the drummer.
Yeah, and Pop Pop is just so lovely and supportive, and then goes it back into the kitchen, and then at one point he hears a crash, and Ty's like, Pop Pop? And Pop Pop is passed out on the floor. So, emergency.
This is when I had my panic attack because I thought Pop Pop died.
I thought Pop Pop was
I was like, oh my God, after all that, his grandpa dies.
Yeah, I'm so relieved that is not, spoiler listener, that is not what happens.
Pop Pop will be fine.
But, oh my God. And she doesn't know about it until she gets her phone off of the bus, and then she immediately realizes, like, oh my fucking God, I have to go home. And before she can leave and red eye back to be there for Ty, Candy shows up. She's clearly some flavor of fucked up.
She's with the festival drug dealer.
I had a lot of questions
and
about Lonnie was.
Like, he's apparently just a hanger-on who, like, he's gotten in trouble for, like, bringing drugs in anyway. And they're just like,
yeah.
She is high as a kite. She's abrasive as fuck.
Yeah, and the guy's, like, basically like, hey, you want to do drugs and fuck? And she's like, no, I'm not interested. And even if I wanted to get fucked, you are not the person that I would hit up.
Yeah, it's like, come on now.
And so there's this whole scene where, like, Tiff goes full feral raccoon on this guy because he gets up in Kayla's face and
she
Tiff
spider
sees
monkeys
it.
him, and then they have to, like, pull her off of him.
Ass. Yeah, that was the moment where I went, oh, this is the final climactic problem.
Yeah.
Issue, conflict. Because she ends up getting back. She's at the hospital. She meets Pop Pop for the first time. And Ty's...
Pop Pop is a charmer.
Of course
Pop
he
Pop
is.
is like, let me steal your girl. I also appreciated, like, earlier he was talking about how he met someone, and Pop Pop's like, oh, who is she? Or him. And they mentioned, like, he had a boyfriend previously, and he never really told Pop Pop, like, that was his boyfriend. But you can tell Pop Pop's, like, super accepting, does not care.
Yeah, Pop Pop's like, he, her, she...
They?
They?
Like, oh, she. Okay, hi. She's very pretty.
Oh my God, it's so cute because at one point she's like, my friends call me Kayla. And he's like, well then, Kayla, people call me Van.
He's like, my name's Vanderbilt. He gives her his full name, full government name. Such a charmer.
And Grandpa says, you sure this is your girl, Tyrell? She might be too pretty for you. And Ty's just like, oh my God, get your own. She's mine. Like, what are you doing, Pop Pop?
Kayla's like, obviously I'm going to visit you again, you little, I love you, Pop Pop.
Yeah, what a scamp. What a scamp.
But basically, Pop Pop has a heart condition. And
yeah.
It is treatable, but Pop Pop's being a real old person about it.
Oh, he's so
like, I don't need a
it.
surgery. And then they're like, well, we can do this other thing. And he's like, I don't need that. He didn't want a pacemaker, but he also didn't want the other surgery because he's like, I don't want them cutting me up because he's an old man. He's a 75-year-old dude.
Yeah, and then she gets a call from Siobhan, and the video of Tiff beating the shit out of this guy on the ground while Kayla is trying to pull her... Yep, with hashtag Indio Brawl.
But again, like, this is not even the last time Siobhan comes through on the phone.
Oh my God, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, so, like, this is the info, and you should probably figure out what you're going to do about it, especially because your parents don't know. And then she's like, okay, let me call my dad. And she does call her family, and they know about it. Her mom is on the phone with her publisher. It's a whole thing.
And even her dad is like, oh, like, he's like, I love you. Like, you can tell he's proud of her, kind of, but then he's also like, but this might affect mommy's publishing. And I'm like, oh, come on, Dad. We love you.
Yeah.
Don't put that on her.
Yeah. And then, unsurprisingly, it is put on her. And so she ends up going to the house to talk to her mom and her dad. And we have this fucking rough conversation with her mom. It ends well, but, like, it's definitely...
It goes there. Like, it ends with a lot of catharsis, but they basically lay it all on the table, show their scars, and at one point, she's like, I feel like I never make you happy, you're never proud of me, and she basically says, you're stifling me, but you can tell that gets through to her mom, because she's like, I never wanted to do that.
Yeah, well, and this is also when she's like, and what about that man that you're seeing, that criminal?
And she's like, excuse me, no, this happened. And her mom's like, well, of course he told you that. And she goes, no, it actually did happen. And her mom does listen at that point, but some of her biases come out.
Oh, yeah. 10,000. She literally looks her mom dead in the face and says, "You're prejudiced."
And,
her mom's
no,
like,
I'm not. It's like, yeah. And then she brings up all the different times when like she made friends with like this little boy, but she told him she couldn't make his birthday party because he wasn't from the right. And then it turned out he was just never invited. Or when she couldn't sleep over with a certain friend because she didn't like her, or like how she couldn't go on a first date with a certain guy because like he was a scholarship student. Like there's a few like
it's
little,
just a lot of,
she brings up all this stuff and you're like, damn, you are a snob lady. Like you are, whether you mean to be or not.
yeah, it's just real rough. And she's like, they do finally like come together, and they're not healed, but they're definitely.
They're on the way. It's very realistic in that they are going to try, and I think they'll get there, but it's not like, even by the end of the book, it's not got an epilogue where they're all like, everything's fine now.
Everything's happy and happy-go-lucky, which that's super realistic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be a rough road. But it does end with her mom being like, all right, go live your dream. We'll figure it out.
Go get
Y'all
your
will
man.
figure it out. Yes. And then we end up seeing Ty's grandpa sell him the house for $1. So now the house is Ty's house.
Which
and
is
this is
so
also
beautiful. But also, we didn't talk about it. It's implied that part of the reason some of this stuff is going out is because Miss Peggy, they see Miss Peggy with the reporter, and the reporter's in the car, and they never go into it or what's going on. But like,
yeah,
they curse her out. But I'm like, damn, Miss Peggy sold them out.
Also, like, who is this reporter? Is this like Miss Peggy's family?
Was that Miss Peggy's like granddaughter, and Miss Peggy didn't even know? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I
Peggy
imagine
did seem sweet on him. Like, I don't know. She was calling.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever get a bow tied around that. And if we don't, we don't. But also,
it's fine, but it will haunt me. Why did Miss Peggy do that? Because it was just like such an offhand, like she was in the passenger seat. I'm like, what was she doing in the passenger seat?
Yeah, and it's just never picked back up.
like where were they going?
Yeah, and so then we see her going to see his childhood bedroom, and that's when they get horny and have a real hot scene.
It's a good scene. They're into it. It's good. It's good.
And then like post-coitally, they're snuggled up, and then the bed frame breaks on them, which is so funny.
They made a joke about how his childhood bedroom, and then it's like, oh, there it goes.
There it goes. And she's like, okay, well, if you're selling the house, you should move in with me. And he's like, okay.
He literally just says, all right. And she goes, well, that was quick. He's like, oh, I don't have any hangups about that.
Yeah. Like, how sweet. And it would have, like, it's very clear that they would have been fine with that not happening, but also, like, they just work so well together. They click.
So it's like, why not? Why not? You're both moving.
Yeah, and then we see this really beautiful art, like we get to read this really cute article where it's basically marrying Kayla as a rock star and Catherine Yolanda as this academic prodigy who the series is based off of, and like marrying the two sides of her life into a cohesive human.
It's like, it's who she is versus the two sides that she's kind of kept keeping separate.
Mm-hmm. And it's just really sweet. And then we get the epilogue where we find out, the Broken Pilots tour is on. And
Siobhan calls because they're like on Spotify. They're trending. They're doing great. And it's so sweet because everyone's over for dinner. They're living together. We find out that like he's going to go back to school, eventually get his master's. The band's doing great. They're about to go on their next tour. It's like this happy, fun time with the whole family together. And it is so cute. Her mom shows up because she knew she was moving, and she goes, we came for the weekend to help you move. And she brought her a bunch of groceries. And it's so sweet too, because like her dad's like, he's like, Kayla, Ty's like, Kayla, there's a man here complaining to be your father. And she's like, Daddy. She's like, there you are. He's like, Kayla. It's like,
oh my God. And then it's so funny because like she's introducing Tyrell, and it's very obvious that Ty was really like, man, this is not the way. I'm covered in paint. I'm not prepared
I was like,
for this.
I wanted to make a good impression, but the mom is charmed. She's like, oh, you didn't tell me he was this handsome.
Well, it's so funny because the way it's described, like she is,
smitten.
As her mother looked at Ty, Kayla could practically see the data set running through her mind. Inner city, lower middle class, not Ivy League educated, brush with the law, locks in his hair, piercing in his ears and nose, rings on his fingers, the kilt. And then her mom walks around and this would have been, man, I would not handle this as well as Ty did, because she just walks around the island and is just like staring him down. And then she like shakes the hand. She's like, okay, it's lovely to meet you. You didn't tell me he was so handsome. Shame on you. And like,
so cute. It's like, no, she wasn't, for once, she wasn't judging him. She just thought he was hot.
And like, also just like, I'm gonna work through this, you
and
know?
Also, like, she's so charmed because he knows who she is. He's like, I loved your paper on so-and-so. And she's like, oh my God, you read that?
Well, yeah, he fanboys over her.
And he's like, oh, and you're dad. And they all love him. And they're having this, like, fun little discussion. And she brought some wine and they're toasting. And even they, like, said fucks. They, like, do the cheer with the swear at the end.
Yeah, well, because, like, they find out, Siobhan calls them, like, they're not only in the top 10 of the alt chart songs, they're in the number 123 on the top 200 everything.
Yeah, they're, like, bubbling. They're doing it.
Yeah, and it's just so cute. It's seeing everybody, like, come together and seeing that, like, it's not fixed, but, like, we're on the road.
And they're, like,
it's
such a family, this band. So you got the band, and you got Richie's there from the studio with his girlfriend, Yvette, who's Tony's best friend. And then you have, like, the entire band and Seb and Jordan, and it's like, and her parents, and it's like her whole family kind of together.
And it's a really great, and I'm like fully up.
I can't wait for the next one. It's just so happy. It's so happy, but it's also like nice because it doesn't end with like, you know, some end like, and everything's settled and that's the end. It's like, no, this is like a couple months later, and you can see like how nice it is for her that her parents made the effort to come into town and help her get her apartment set up.
This is definitely one of those series where, like, there are some series where you can really just pick up any book and it's fine. But, like, this is a series, like, there is an overarching plot line.
Yeah, I would definitely read this in order.
10,000%. And it's just so good. It's
so
just
good.
so good.
Such a good read. I'm so glad we read it. I'm so glad we chose this one.
Me too. I'm glad that you, like, mentioned it was in your list because, like, it's just one of those things where I'm really bad about not picking up. Once I've read something, unless the next book is already out.
Well, because you make a note of it, but then, like, there's so many books out there. Like, I'm better at it, like, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's also just, like, you have so much to read. Like, you are an amazingly quick reader, but you got to read for yourself, but you also have to read for the pod, and you have to read all this other stuff, and it can be hard. Like, I know for me, like, there's just so much to read.
Yeah, 10,000%. And it doesn't help that I go down rabbit holes of authors that have like 80 books.
Well, you were on your Sabrina Jeffries journey.
I'm still on my Sabrina Jeffries bullshit for sure.
You should be. It's great. She's your namesake.
Yeah, I talk a lot about like, I wish there were characters out there with my name, but like, man, the fact that I still can't type my name.
I read a whole book once because the woman was named Kiran, and it was fine. It was called like Love, Chai, and Other Things or something. It was like, but her name was Kiran, and it made me very excited.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The book itself was fine, but the name, I was like, it's getting an extra point just for that.
You're like, yes, this is a 5-star book. Because my name is in here.
You're like, it's a 3-star book, but it's a 5-star because it's got my name on it. For the Kieran's a 5-star. For everyone else, 3.5.
It's a 5-star in my heart.
But no, this was great, and I'm a fast reader too, so I'm glad we were able to get it done so quick. But I'm so happy that we read it. It was so good. And now, now I'm annoyed though because I'm like, she said the next one's not coming out for a while because she's mid-writing it. I'm like, but I want it now. I feel like Ruka Salt. I'm like, I want to know what's going on with Tiff and her sister.
I have a lot of questions about the snippets that get dropped about Tiff.
Tiff, her sister, what's going on with her? I get that she's half Asian, possibly half Black because she's got braids, but we don't know anything about her background, foster care. Like, they drop these snippets, but they don't give us anything. And I'm like, I want it. And I think her love interest might be Jordan, but also I'm not sure.
Even if her love interest isn't Jordan, which honestly, what a perfect partner for her, just because he's so level.
And like, it seems like the reason I think it's him is because he knew everything.
Maybe so. Yeah.
I get that's because he's the lawyer, but he seemed like on it. But regardless, I'm like, I just want to know more about this chaos gremlin.
Yes, 10,000%. She's chaotic, and I love her, and I'm excited for. I'm also excited for Lily's. Like, she's called
even though I truly hope it's not Candy, because I get the vibe that we're supposed to feel bad for Candy because they always show this stuff about like, oh, she feels genuinely hurt, and she like did this. I'm like, yeah, but she's horrible. She's horrible to Tony, especially when that woman didn't do anything but like take a job.
Yeah. Yeah, Candy, one, that would have to be a dual point of view for me because
And
I
she
need to
needs
see
go
what's
to
in her
rehab
head.
and come and spend a year. Like, I'm sure it's going to be her, but I'm like, I don't know, man. It will take a lot to win me over.
Yeah, same. Which, like, if anybody was going to write a
It would
character,
be Xio
in a,
Axelrod. I feel like she can really make these crazy things, like, be like, okay, really human.
yes,
Just the Candy we've seen so far, I'm just like, my God, but you were so mean to Lily, and Lily just keeps bending over backwards for you.
I also, and this is definitely something that I notice happening more and more as I get older, but like, I just keep having to remind myself, like, they're so young.
That's the thing. I'm like, yeah, like, they're 25.
Yeah, like, boy, I was definitely not perfect.
No,
at
I was a mess
25.
too. It's just like you're looking at it with adult lenses, and you're like, this person is not nice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, ugh. But anyway, so, all right, what's your lady love, Kieran?
You know what? My lady love is, you know what I've been watching lately? I've been watching Rivals on Disney Plus / Hulu or whatever it is, but it's very good. It's based on the Jilly Cooper books from the 80s. They're like romance novels from the 80s set in England in the Cotswold. Yeah, it's on season 2.
How have I not heard about this?
Because
What?
it's weirdly, like, it's a hit, but it's weirdly under the radar. It's like set in the 80s in England in Cotswolds. They've updated a lot of the characters, but it's all in the 80s.
And it's on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. It's like super ridiculous, soapy. It keeps all the Jilly Cooper of it all. Like, it's very much like a ridiculous British, but with a great cast. Like, David Tennant's in it. It's like amazing people. It makes you feel emotions, but it's also like very much a throwback to that kind of era of like nighttime soap operas. It's got like age gap romance I'm actually into, even though normally I'd be like, ooh, she's only like 21 and you're like 38. But I'm like, I feel it. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's actually like very good. And there's like all these different like
I just added it to my list.
it's so good. And I've been enjoying it because it's brain candy. And like, I just feel like we've been in a really good like romance novel series movie thing because we had Heated Rivalry and then Off Campus and we have this. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of it, though I love the books every year after, I was like, well, I'm still looking forward to season 2. So it's like,
Yeah, I haven't watched Off Campus yet. I know that it's out. It's just I've actually been watching just more things since being back down here and around people because it's a social
really
thing.
Like Off Campus. It's very cute.
Well, I remember that's one of those series that it's one of the first things I read when I really heavily dove back into romance, like back in like 2020, like 2019. And like I started reading a lot and almost exclusively romance and specifically hockey romance. And it's one of those series that I remember that there are problems in it.
But I will say the show does a good job with that because the books I'm not a huge fan of. I think they're fine. I get why people love them, but they're very much of an era. But I think they do a really good job, like especially with the male characters, just making them more complex and evolved.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that. I've heard that.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think Heated Rivalry is the gold star right now, along with like probably like different seasons of Bridgerton. Those are the two probably like best ones, and I agree. None of the other ones are as good as that. So like, but it's good. It's cute. I do think Rivals is underrated though because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Okay, well, it's added to my list. I will report back when I watch it, inevitably one day.
What's your lady love, Sabrina?
My lady love is actually, and what made me think of it is how much I'm craving one right now, which I continue to laugh at just how much so many of my lady loves revolve around things that I eat.
It is amazing.
It is, but man, I always forget how much I fucking love a Fig Newton and a ginger snap.
Those are good cookies.
Yeah. So Fig Newtons specifically, they have them like, or I guess they're not Fig Newtons. It's a different brand. This is definitely a Band-Aid situation, but it's like fig bar thing, like fig bars, and they come in a 2-pack.
It's like the off-brand, but same thing.
Sam's Club. Yeah, it's like probably like the organic version of it, whatever.
It's the healthy.
Yeah, the healthy version of this
like
highly sugared fruit.
Like mac and cheese, but it's Annie's mac and cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, man, it comes in like the 2-pack, and I fucking I love a fig, like just a fig bar. I always forget how much I love a fig.
I feel like that about Biscoffs. I don't know if you guys get those there, but I love a Biscoff cookie. And like, I get it sometimes because one of the airlines I go on for work always gives us a Biscoff. And I'm always the same thing as you. I'm always reminded after I get that little package. I'm like, these are good. Why don't I eat them more often?
Yeah. And then specifically the fig bar, also reminded me, I was like, man, I feel like I really just enjoy the unusual sweet treats. And it made me remember ginger snaps. And I also got some ginger snaps. And I just also love a ginger snap.
Yeah, they're good. I need to get a ginger snap. I haven't had one in years, I feel like.
Have you ever had somebody who because the ones you can, the classic ginger snap that you think of, that you can buy in prepackaged whatever in stores, delicious, awesome. But man, a ginger snap that has some caramel, crystallized ginger in it that somebody has made at home, and you buy that
Christmas time when people make their Christmas cookies. Some people will always make gingerbread, but some will also make ginger snaps.
Yeah,
that's usually when I get them.
Man, yeah. So I guess it's just the unusual sweet treats is I guess technically the lady love if you're gonna broaden it, and it's just, man, they're just really delightful, and especially
get some Fig Newtons and some ginger snaps. Settle down with some rivals, and I think that sounds like an amazing, a nice, cozy Friday night to yourself.
God, that sounds delightful. What a good call. Yeah, so that'll be our pod, Lady Love, is a delicious sweet treat and your favorite romance TV show.
Yeah, just
that
enjoy
you can just enjoy. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, Kiran. This was utterly a delight, and I'm just so happy. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me, and I hope our rambling, both of ours rampant ADHD creative. You can actually publish and use.
Yeah. We actually I was a little bit.
We went on our tangents, but we were able to bring them back. So
yes, I think we did a very good job of that.
Yeah.
And so so listener, keep being a badass and love yourself as much as
Tony Montana loves cocaine.
That doesn't relate to the book.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
As much as Ty loves a good Black female sci-fi author.
Oh my God, yeah. What a good one. As much as they both love Sherlock. They have a very long conversation about variations of
Sherlock too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, and love yourself as much as you love nobody having an awkward conversation after you fuck in the bunk.
Amazing.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Next week, Sabrina and I will be back to recap The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam by Megan Bannon. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you next week.